Have you ever wondered if India is on the path to becoming a global powerhouse, or if another emerging economy might take the title? Or how India compares to other emerging economies like Thailand, Vietnam, or Indonesia? Welcome to another episode of Informed Investor. Today we're diving into the world of emerging economies and the strategic China Plus One approach. In this video, we'll explore the rapid growth of these countries and how they have significantly increased their share of the global GDP. Stay tuned as we dive into these intriguing questions and more in today's episode. Along with this, we'll see why countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia are emerging as attractive alternatives to India. Stay with us until the end to find out how these countries are outpacing India. Over the past 2 decades, emerging economies have been growing at a much faster pace than advanced economies. Countries like China, India, and Indonesia have significantly increased their share of the world GDP, more than doubling it since 2000. But let's focus on India for a moment. India has been a major driver of global growth, contributing 16% to the world's economic expansion in 2023 alone. Over the past 20 years, India's annual GDP growth rate has consistently averaged around 6 to 7%, far outpacing many developed nations. In the recent budget speech, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman highlighted that India received $596 billion in foreign direct investment from 2014 to 2023, which is double the amount received between 2005 and 2014. This surge in FDI shows growing investor confidence and has been a catalyst for growth across various sectors. And it's not just India. Foreign direct investment in other emerging markets like Indonesia and Vietnam surged from about 6% of total FDI in 2005 to approximately 10% just before the pandemic. This highlights their growing influence and contribution to the global economy. A key factor in this growth is the China Plus One strategy, which has become increasingly popular among global companies. This strategy is all about diversifying manufacturing and supply chains to include countries besides China. The goal is to avoid relying too much on one country for sourcing and manufacturing. If you've ever heard the famous saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," it's a very similar approach. By doing this, companies can reduce risk that come from depending too much on just one country. This shift has given a big boost to other emerging economies like Vietnam, India, Indonesia, Thailand, making them hotspots for foreign investment. These countries are now benefiting from the spillover of manufacturing and trade activities. Diversifying in this way not only makes global supply chains more resilient, but also speeds up economic growth in these emerging markets, solidifying their important role in the global economy. So how did China Plus One strategy come about? For years, many Western countries, including the US, have heavily relied on China for their manufacturing needs. The reasons are clear: low labor and production cost, a strong domestic market, robust supply chains, top-notch infrastructure, beneficial free trade and tax agreements, and China's high growth potential. However, as early as 2008, people began to notice that this heavy reliance on China posed significant risk. This concern led to the official introduction of China Plus One strategy in 2013. This strategy allows businesses to continue investing in China while spreading their operations across multiple countries, known as the Plus One. By establishing additional sourcing and manufacturing locations outside of China, companies can mitigate business risk, tap into new consumer markets, and explore other innovation and technology, all while keeping their operations cost effective. Why is the China Plus One strategy relevant now? The need for businesses to adopt a China Plus One strategy is driven by both geopolitical and economic factors. One major catalyst was the US-China trade war initiated by President Donald Trump in 2018. As tensions escalated, businesses faced uncertainty about the impact on their supply chains and operations, prompting many to look for alternatives. The COVID-19 pandemic further exposed the risk of relying solely on China. Companies with more diversified supply chains managed better during the disruptions caused by China's stringent zero-COVID policy, which led to extended lockdowns and factory closures. Rising labor costs in China and various political movements within the country have also contributed to the increasing adoption of China Plus One approach in recent years. Now, while China Plus One strategy offers exciting new market opportunities, it's essential to focus on the benefits it presents. Let's explore the advantages of this strategy. One of the primary reasons companies consider adopting the China Plus One strategy is to reduce risk. Relying on a single country for their supply chain can be risky, especially with potential disruptions from natural disasters, political tensions, or global pandemics. By diversifying suppliers across multiple countries, businesses can create a more resilient and adaptable supply chain that can better handle unexpected challenges. Recent laws like Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act aim to combat forced labor in China. Violating these regulations can lead to serious consequences such as having products seized or damaging the company's reputation. By exploring alternative sources for components, businesses can avoid these risks and ensure compliance with new legislation. Rising labor costs in China have driven the adoption of this strategy. While China was once known for its cost-effective production, other countries now offer competitive labor costs, favorable exchange rates, and tax incentives. Expanding the supply chain to these regions can help companies achieve significant cost savings. Different regions specialize in various industries and technologies. By expanding manufacturing to these areas, companies can access cutting-edge technologies and specialized expertise that might not be available elsewhere. This expansion can provide a competitive edge and enhance overall capabilities. Now that we have a decent understanding of this concept, that is China plus one strategy, let's look at few emerging economies that are more suitable plus one locations for businesses. First and foremost, let's talk about India. For a multitude of reasons, India is rapidly becoming an attractive destination for many companies looking to expand their operations. Let's break down why this is happening. India offers a vast domestic market and an abundance of labor. Many multinational companies are eager to tap into India's growing market. For example, in 2022, Apple decided to expand its manufacturing base in India to reduce production lag on its iPhone 14. Following this decision, Foxconn, Apple's main manufacturer, set up assembly units in the state of Karnataka. Additionally, India's youthful demographic is a significant factor. According to the World Bank, in 2023, 28.4% of India's population was under 30 compared to just 20.4% in China. This young demographic is driving the workforce and consumer market, boosting consumption, savings, and investment. It's positioning India as a potential multi-trillion-dollar economy and an attractive market for global companies. India is also known for its lower labor and capital cost compared to its competitors like Vietnam. This makes India's production sector highly competitive. A 2023 study by Deloitte found that India's average manufacturing wage is 47% lower than China's, providing a cost-effective alternative for manufacturing. Now let's understand how India is gearing up to become the next manufacturing hub, catering to the global market. As mentioned earlier, India boasts a vast and growing labor force, which makes it an ideal site for manufacturing. The country's large pool of prospective workers offers a competitive advantage to industrial firms. The Indian government has implemented several initiatives to boost manufacturing in the country, aligning itself with the China plus one strategy. Let's take a closer look at some of these initiatives. Make in India. The Make in India program offers financial incentives to businesses building factories in the country. By 2025, the program aims to increase manufacturing's contribution to GDP to 25% and create 100 million new jobs in the industry. Second is PM Gati Shakti. To facilitate the flow of commodities throughout the nation, the Indian government has launched the PM Gati Shakti project, which aims to enhance multimodal connectivity across the country. Third is push for SEZs. The government has established several special economic zones across the nation to attract international investment and encourage exports. These zones are a part of the China plus one strategy and are designed to make India an attractive destination for global investors. Then comes Startup India. The Startup India project is designed to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship in the manufacturing industry. It provides startups with various benefits and assistance, including funding, mentoring, and incubator space. India has prioritized the development of digital technologies such as Internet of Things, which is crucial for producing IoT devices in the country. Initiatives like National Digital Communications Policy and the Digital India program encourage the development of digital technologies and aim to connect all residents to broadband, fostering an environment conducive to designing and producing high-tech goods. India is already a powerhouse in the global information technology and IT-enabled service sector, with companies like TCS, Infosys, and Wipro emerging as industry leaders worldwide. Meanwhile, China has historically been the market leader in manufacturing, but this position has become static. Due to Chinese disinvestment, giants like Apple, OnePlus, Hyundai, and BMW have established manufacturing facilities in India. Next is Indonesia. Indonesia, the largest economy in Southeast Asia, is full of economic potential that's grabbing the world's attention. With a GDP over $1 trillion, Indonesia has shown remarkable resilience and growth even through global challenges like trade wars and the COVID-19 pandemic. What's so unique about Indonesia's economy? Indonesia is leading the way in the ASEAN region, which stands for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Despite challenging times, the country has consistently shown strong economic growth. In 2021, even with the challenges of the COVID-19 Delta variant, Indonesia's economy grew by 3.7%. This growth momentum continued into 2022 and 2023, with the economy expanding by 5.3% and 5.05% respectively. The country is full of opportunities for foreign investment and business growth thanks to its large working age population and strategic location and abundant natural resources. It's currently the world's largest producer of nickel, second in tin, and fourth in bauxite, which are all crucial for building electric vehicle batteries. But it's not just about natural resources. Indonesia's big population and rising wages are boosting purchasing power and creating a lively consumer market. Unlike many other countries in the region, where the working age population is either peaking or declining, Indonesia continues to benefit from its youthful demographic. With a median age of 29, it possesses a substantial working age population that can fuel economic growth. Also, Indonesia occupies a unique geographic position. It is an archipelago and the largest country to consist entirely of islands. These factors give Indonesia several key advantages that could help it become a leading economic powerhouse in the region. Now, what's really pushing Indonesia's economy forward? In recent years, the Indonesian government has been working hard to move away from relying too much on exporting raw commodities. Instead, they're focusing on boosting the manufacturing sector. One of their big priorities is developing infrastructure, which they believe will have a ripple effect throughout the economy, driving growth and creating jobs. Indonesia is also embracing digital transformation and sustainable industries. For example, they're investing in electric vehicle battery production, which has strengthened their economic position. By banning the export of unprocessed minerals, Indonesia is encouraging global manufacturers to set up processing plants within the country, creating more value from their natural resources. This strategy has resulted in a structural increase in global investment into the metals and machinery sector, overtaking natural resources, which used to be the largest recipient of FDI. Indonesia has strong trade ties with several major countries including China, the US, Japan, India, and Malaysia. They also have well-established trade and investment relationships with countries like Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and Hong Kong. The UK also sees Indonesia as an important strategic partner, which highlights Indonesia's growing importance on the world stage. Now, looking ahead, Indonesia is making great progress toward long-term economic growth and aims to become one of the world's top 7 economies by 2030 and then top 5 by 2050. A big step in this direction was the 2020 Omnibus Law, which shows how committed Indonesia is to boosting its economy. This law makes things easier for businesses by cutting through red tape, creating jobs, and attracting multinational companies. With its strategic advantages, strong government support, and focus on sustainable growth, Indonesia is well on its way to becoming an economic powerhouse. Now coming to the third emerging economy that is widely being considered as a +1 location, Vietnam. Vietnam has been known for its impressive economic growth over the years. Before the pandemic, the country was growing at a strong rate of 7% annually. Now, as the global economy starts to recover, Vietnam is set to bounce back to this high growth rate. Despite the global economic challenges, Vietnam showed resilience with a 6% growth rate in 2022, although this slightly dipped to 5.05 in 2023. This recovery is largely due to Vietnam benefiting from global supply chain diversification and the China +1 strategy, where businesses look to Vietnam as an alternative to China for manufacturing and investment. Vietnam is on a track to become one of the fastest growing economies in the region. Its GDP growth is second only to India's, and its economic size is quickly catching up to Singapore's. In 2020, Vietnam's GDP even briefly surpassed that of Singapore, and by 2025, it is expected to sustainably overtake Singapore. The country offers a favorable business environment supported by a steadily improving ecosystem and strong free trade networks, making it an attractive destination for businesses and investors. Now, if we we look at the recent trends, the first half of 2024 saw Vietnam's good export turnover estimated at $190.8 billion, marking a significant year-on-year increase of 14.5%. This robust growth pushed the country's trade surplus to $11.60 billion. The domestic economic sector experienced a 20.6% rise in exports, reaching $53.39 billion, which accounts for 28.1% of the total export value. Including crude oil, foreign invested sectors saw a 12.3% increase, contributing $136.69 billion to exports, making up 71.9% of the total. The United States remains Vietnam's largest export market with an estimated turnover of $54.3 billion. Now, what are the key drivers of investment and growth? Many businesses view Vietnam as a safer alternative for manufacturing, product assembly, and downstream services. Recent global supply chain shocks and increased labor costs in other countries have positioned Vietnam as a more competitive option than China in several respects. Vietnam ranks highly for economic stability and resilience, securing the third place in the Emerging Asia Manufacturing Index 2024. The manufacturing sector alone witnessed an impressive 8% growth in 2022, a threefold increase from 2020 and 2021, highlighting the nation's economic strength. Now, Vietnam's government is known for its stability, providing strategic direction and decision-making on major policy issues. The government has focused on enhancing business policies and labor laws to improve its ranking as the leader destination for foreign direct investment in the ASEAN region. Vietnam aspires to become an innovation hub and R&D center, aiming to boost its startup ecosystem. The country has experienced a surge in startups, with funding projected to reach $5 billion between 2023 and 2025. Next is Thailand. Thailand is a country with a strong and resilient economy that continues to hold its ground despite global challenges. As of 2024, Thailand's economy is on a path of recovery. The country's GDP stood at an impressive $515 billion in 2023, indicating a favorable environment for investments. Traditional sectors such as tourism, telecommunications, and banking remain robust, while emerging industries like insurance, electricity, and automotive are experiencing rapid growth. Now, what's driving this growth? One of the key drivers of Thailand's economic growth is its improved business environment. The Thai government has made significant reforms to streamline business startup procedures, making it the third easiest country in the region to do businesses, according to the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. Thailand's participation in numerous multilateral and bilateral trade agreements provide investors with privileged access to global markets, further enhancing its attractiveness as an investment destination. Thailand's infrastructure is well developed and plays a crucial role in supporting the country's economic activities. The country has extensive transportation network with over 180,000 kilometers of roads and a railway system covering around 4,000 kilometers. Thailand's workforce is diverse and dynamic, reflecting the country's status as one of Southeast Asia's leading economies. With a population exceeding 71 million people, the labor force is sizable and plays a significant role in various sectors. Looking ahead, Thailand's economic growth for 2024 is projected at 2.4%, driven primarily by the continued expansion of domestic consumption and a rebound in the tourism sector. The government's Thailand 4.0 strategy aims to promote investments in high value-added and technologically advanced sectors, focusing on industries such as automotive, digital technology, and medical tourism. This strategy presents a wide range of investment opportunities for international businesses, positioning Thailand as an attractive destination for global investors. Now, what advantages do these countries have over India? When comparing the emerging economies of Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand with India, each of these countries offer distinct advantages that can be appealing to investors and businesses. Indonesia is rich in natural resources, providing significant export revenue and attracting foreign investment in mining and agriculture sector. Its strategic location between the Indian and the Pacific Ocean serves as a crucial maritime gateway for trade routes. Political stability and economic diversification, particularly in manufacturing and tourism, further enhance Indonesia's appeal as an investment destination. Vietnam, on the other hand, has become a global manufacturing hub with lower labor costs compared to India, making it an attractive destination for industries such as textiles, electronics, and footwear. The country benefits from numerous international trade agreements like Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership entrepreneurship, which enhance its trade opportunities. Thailand is known for its thriving tourism industry, including medical tourism, which significantly contributes to its economy. The country's advanced infrastructure supports its role as a regional trade center, and according to the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index, Thailand ranks higher than India with reforms that simplify business registrations and operations. In comparison to India, these countries offer several advantages, including lower labor costs in Vietnam and Indonesia, more political and economic stability in Thailand and Indonesia, and better government policies conducive to foreign investment. While India remains a significant player with its large market and technological prowess, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand each present unique strengths that make them appealing destinations for investors and business in the global economy. Having said that, this is me, Aditi Priya, signing off.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.